You know, in just the last year alone, the Supreme Court has ended abortion rights as we know them, has made it more difficult for our government to do anything to tackle the crisis of climate change. The court has opened the floodgates to increased gun violence. It's gutted our Miranda rights. It's eviscerated the separation of church and state, and it's just getting started. No one is surprised here, right, that the folks we have on this stage today when we're talking about the Supreme Court are experts in abortion access, in voting rights, right? These are all fundamental rights that this right-wing Supreme Court has taken on with a vengeance.
We have a court that does not even reflect the American people. We just got an African-American woman on the court, right, for the first time. I'm raising that because I think there are three things I want us to think about the court. The three things are, I want us, first and foremost, we have to resist. We cannot say that it is okay and act like the Supreme Court, that they have power that supersedes our power as a people.
I speak on that as a repro worker. I also speak on that as a person who in February of this year found themselves pregnant in a criminalized context. And had to speak on the phone with a clinic that was 2 miles from my home, be told that they could not offer me care, and be referred to a New Mexico clinic 600 miles away. And it's devastating to understand that nothing had changed in the safety or efficacy of the abortion care that I was seeking. The only thing that had changed was that now these providers had their hands tied. The court had made this, seen this happen, hadn't stepped in, and abandoned us in the state of Texas to navigate it on our own.
You know, this is a court that ignores precedent, that cherry picks history, that straight up makes up facts in the cases before them to get the results that they want. And all of this is really rooted in a more fundamental problem, in a deeper disconnect between the right-wing court and the will of the American people, the people that the court is supposed to be serving.
The Supreme Court has this deity status because it has always been a tool to protect the interests of white supremacy in America, always. And to the extent in which it has shifted, it is when the politics and the people have demanded that it be shifted. We've got to organize. We've got to reorganize ourselves in such a way that people really understand that we have power to be able to shift the court. That's not a novel idea. The Supreme Court has actually been either expanded or shrunk 7 times.
And we know that what happens in Texas doesn't stay in Texas. We're seeing copycat laws pop up. We're seeing increasing criminalization for pregnancy outcomes, regardless if they include abortion within that spectrum. And so it's an incredibly difficult time. And to your point, and these decisions are made elsewhere, but they're impacting people like me, Black and brown community members, who, luckily I was a person who knew the options that I had, who knew how to get to where I needed to go to access care. As you can see, I'm not pregnant today. I'm happy not to be. But yay! But what happens to the person who doesn't know the options that are still available to them? And what happens when, in one quick phone call that tells you, you're already past 6 weeks, there's nothing we can do for you here? What happens to that individual, and how can we step up and show up for them?
We have to peel back these fictions that we've had about the court. This pretend sense that it lives in this magical universe of perfect law and reason, and has the power to rule over us, when it has always been, save, I don't know, maybe 7 to 10 years, an institution that has reinforced the powerful, that has taken power away from people, that has reinforced conservative institutions, and right now it's doing that on steroids.
And so there is a benefit for the American people for there to be expansion of the court. We have to shift it out of this frame that is about what party has power and control of the court. We have to shift it into the frame that people have control of the Supreme Court.
We can play the game while at the same time saying this shit is rigged. We're out here, we're doing the work, but we can still criticize the establishment, the systems that are in place, and acknowledge the fact that it doesn't work for us, and we need to be making change.
That's right.
This is a court full of right-wing extremists who want to act as some sort of super legislature and impose their agenda on the rest of us against our will. And it's only going to get worse unless we do something to rein them in.